Bum, bum, bum. Okay. This is where the music comes in, I think. This is usually the point. Where's some man? Yeah. Good evening, wokes. It's your solo dolo host tonight, Inyaze Vincent, one half of the infamous Woke with Kids squad. You can't make them without two. Takes two to tango. But tonight the missus is chilling. She may join, she may not. I'm not sure what's gonna go down tonight. I know that I'm going to be here, and the pressures of being a parent as well as an amateur podcaster can be intense. Overwhelming, heroic, some might even say. I don't know who, but some people like myself and people like me might say it's heroic. That being said, it takes a lot out of you, and our kids at our age where they take a lot of energy out of you. So we try to do it as much as we can, and when we can't, we can't. But I felt like it's just a lot of time had passed since we had joined you, and so many things were happening on the culture scene, on the cultural scene, the political, cultural scene, whatever level of reality that you're addressing, that you're dealing with. Squeegee your third eye. It's time to get a little woke-er. This is a podcast that was started around 3 or 4 years ago. Oh my God, how time flies. To address the imbalance of brutality against black bodies in this country, strange fruit, so to speak, hanging from popular trees in the popular culture. We all know what went down in the last dwindling days of Obama's presidency, the heyday, the golden age, the pinnacle of American civilization to fore. Towards the dwindling of that epoch, cops started to show their ass, or maybe we started to notice more often. It was more publicized, but we started to see more instances of black kids getting shot and killed, and we have black babies, and so we felt compelled to start a podcast. Also, we read that it was a good way to get rich and make a lot of money. Only one of those facts is correct, though. Anyway, so it's not about money. It's about touching the people and joining you, my community, for a little bit to talk about things that matter to us. So let's talk about some things that matter to us, shall we? And if you want to join in on the Facebook Live, if you got something to say, you want to put a comment, tonight would be especially auspicious for you to do so, because I would probably speak directly at you and to you, because I have no co-host here with me tonight. And in the future, if I do this again, I probably will reach out to someone to maybe sub in or whatever, but I just felt like doing the podcast tonight because we just had the Democratic Debates, everybody. Yay! We had the Democratic Debates. So much fun. That's my sports. Some of you might know that. What's going on here? Some of you might know that. I don't know if you do, but I don't watch the sports, as they say. I don't do that. Instead, I watch podcasts. I watch podcasts because that's what I enjoy doing. I'm sorry, I got confused. I watch political debates. Sorry, I watch political debates because that's what I enjoy doing. I watch political skirmishes. I read the newspaper. I love watching the clash of ideas and egos and bullshit. It's just so fascinating. It's just so exhilarating. It's better than any other sport on the planet. And so let's dig into it. It's the game of champions. We are all wrestling for power. Who is going to be the king of America, right? Or the queen. It might be the queen of America. Possibly the queen. So tonight's field was still deep, okay? The first couple of debates were like these huge scrums where basically like everybody and their uncle could just dive in and say whatever crazy nonsensical bullshit. We remember some of the highlights. Marianne Williamson, who taught us to look for the great evil that was lurking and everything, and that was a wonderful moment. I can't remember any of the other ones right now, but we've had a lot of wonderful moments. But bit by bit, we've had to winnow this shit down because there's too many motherfuckers running for president. Okay, that's just plain and simple. I don't know why all you bastards think you can solve this when you started it, but whatever. Okay, whatever. Let's just put that aside. Let's assume that you want the power and you deserve the power all at once, because that's a thing that can happen. The field is winnowed considerably. The last time we checked in, the front runner was Joe Biden. And we know that it was Joe Biden because everybody ganged up to play let's beat up on the old guy, right? Kamala Harris got some zingers in where she talked about Joe Biden being friends with somebody who was pro-segregation, which was basically saying that Joe Biden was pro-segregation or some bullshit. I don't know, whatever. Right? And then moving on, right? So then, but then when we checked in today, we find out that the momentum has shifted. Something has changed. Something in the body politic has shifted. And now, dare I say, Elizabeth Warren is now ahead, is now the front runner, is now the person to beat, is now the person that's probably that looks like it might be the Democratic contender for Queen of America. Okay. What changed? I don't know. I don't know what changed, but I've been watching her. I've been watching her performances. I like Elizabeth. I'm very pro Elizabeth. She's smart, right? She's got brains. She seems to have a good grasp of like commanding an audience. She doesn't joke around too much, but she doesn't seem like she doesn't get a joke. All good things, right? But at the same time, there's something schoolmarmy about her that you can't quite get over. You know what I mean? There's something about her that that still echoes a little bit of the taste you want to get, that Hillary taste out of your mouth, right? I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is, but it's there. And I'm not saying it's warranted. I'm just saying that you can, it's just kind of a thing. And maybe when I say that, I'm looking at it through the eyes of our opponents, right? I'm looking at it through the eyes of the Breitbarts and the Fox Newses of the world, the people that are going to be examining this and the people are going to be looking for weaknesses and shit like that. So that's my only thing with her. Joe Biden, let's go back to him because he's still a front runner. Let's not forget. Just because he's not making all the zingers and he's not hot and sexy and he's not for like free Medicaid for all or whatever, he doesn't want to give you a bunch of free shit. He just wants to have like a basic normal America where we fight for civil rights and try to get incrementally better, much like Obama, much like Hillary, whatever. The only thing about him is that he seems like mad old, right? He just seems like he can't quite get all his words together, or like there's an energy and a momentum that sometimes shows out and then sometimes retreats. It's difficult to tell what you're going to get with Joe, but overall I get the feeling of like a really old superhero, like somebody who's like, if he just dusted off his cape or if he just got some more another drink of Miracolo or something, that he would like, he could really dig it out. But like, do you see him running for president in another 4 years? It's just hard for me to imagine. Okay, that's all I'm saying about that. Bernie Sanders looked really good for just having a fucking heart attack. I gotta say, looked really good for having a heart attack. But I think I feel the same problem with Biden. I think even though Bernie Sanders has actually, in terms of mental acuity, seems like he's the smartest guy on the stage. Like he never seems like he's at like I just faltered for words. He's never like that. He always knows what he's trying to say because he has a very specific message. And I like the fact that he kind of tried to work in this ethos of bringing people together. I've never heard Bernie talk like that before. Maybe when you die and you almost get to the pearly gates or whatever, you're changed. Maybe he was changed. I mean, that's a fucking hope, right? Anyway, I dug it. I dug that kind of turn at the end where he was like, I want to bring people together, blah, blah, blah. It was nice. Do I want him as president? I don't know. I don't think so. Secretary of State or Secretary of something to do with the economy, that would be dope. I think that'd be super dope for Bernie to be in charge of that shit. Buttigieg was stood out to me. I was surprised a little bit because I had never really felt anything from him, but I felt like he really stepped up, and I was getting some like young, charismatic Napoleon vibes from him. He's kind of a small dude, but he was projecting that big dick military energy, which I was really feeling. And I think it would be super dope. Like he would kind of be, I'd say Obama used Obama as a test early, but like the fact that Obama's the first minority president now set the template for Democrats. So like it would be dope you could imagine like the gay Obama, right? You can just like, to take me to my next dude, Julian Castro, who some people are calling the Latino Obama, right? I can even dig that because, there is power in harnessing a symbol. And what is a more powerful symbol of change and equality in America than a minority of any sort, really, ascending to the heights of power, That's amazing, right? So Pete Buttigieg, Julian Castro, they stood out a little bit. Julian Castro, I felt like he'd been studying Obama's speaking notes. I was really digging that. I'm a sucker for being pandered to, and if you do it the right way, and I could almost catch like hints, waifs of the cadence of Obama in some of his speech patterns, the way he would pause, and it was kind of a professorial, but kind of like off the cuff, like a professor just rolled his sleeves up, or a wacky professor who like comes in and does crazy shit to get all the kids into it. Whatever. Anyway, I liked Julian. I literally didn't. Oh yeah, Klobuchar, Senator Amy Klobuchar. She was dope too. She came out of nowhere. She was funny, personable. She had heart. I don't know what she stands for per se. I mean, whenever you start talking about like appealing to the heartland, and yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like it just has a all lives matter ring to me that I just can't quite get out of my head. But like other than that, I like her. You know what I mean? She seemed funny and personal, but I just don't know if I need her as president. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say Kamala. I don't think this is. I don't know if this is the thing. That's all. I just don't know if this is the thing. I just don't see it. I want to see it. I want to see it more than I want to see anything else. I just don't see it. I can't explain it. I just can't explain it. Like, I want her as a prosecutor. I want her to beat up on bad guys. I just know. I just don't want her. No. It's not doing it for me anymore. I'm sorry. Cory Booker. Jeez. What's up with the black candidates, really? I mean, because do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny because Obama wasn't like super, super black either. I mean, he is super black, but he's not like, he wasn't nigga black. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I don't know why I don't know what it is about Cory Booker, even though I know he is a brother. I know he is down as fuck. I know these things. It's just something about the vegan, hold hands with Republicans thing that's just, a bridge over troubled water too far, perhaps, so to speak. Who else was running for president? There was another white guy on stage. I have no idea what his name is. What are you doing? And then there was also I don't remember his name. The guy, the punk rocker. You know what I'm talking about. Everyone loves him, but Beto. Jesus, Beto. And Beto, I don't know. I like him, but he's not, you know what I'm saying? It's like Currency. Anytime I hear Currency, the rapper, I like his songs, but I have never he's never popped. You know what I'm saying? Some rappers is like that. Anytime I hear this song, I'm like, I like this song. I just, wouldn't play it for anybody else. I don't know. It's hard to explain. So I'm not feeling it. So anyways, that was that's my quick wrap up on the Democratic debates. I think bottom line, I want to see, I want to see if Buttigieg and I want to see if Julian Castro, I want to see if they can really step out of the shadow of the big three of the Justice League, Bernie, Warren, and Biden. I want to see if he can step out of the shadows of that and really see if they can forge a path ahead for themselves. That'd be interesting for me to see. Anyway, all right, moving on. Okay, moving on. Here, let's just, I'm not gonna make this a long podcast because you don't want to just listen to me. You want to hear me and Mel together, and I acknowledge that. That's fine. I just want to talk to you for a second, if that's okay with you. Obviously, I do want to talk about Atatiana, right? Atatiana. I want to talk about Atatiana. There's not much that I can say that you haven't already said. I mean, I already heard. Really nothing. I'm not going to play the video. I was thinking about playing the video. I'm not going to play the video. You could look up the video if you're interested in traumatizing yourself. But I don't feel the need to traumatize you tonight because I've already been traumatized. But the bottom line is that a neighbor called a non-emergency police line to check on his neighbors because he saw the door open. So he called a non-emergency line. The cops came. And then a white male police officer, which I feel is important to note that because unconscious bias is real, goes around to the back of the house, and the woman who is there, 28 years old, pre-med graduate from Xavier University. I'm sorry I have to add those details, but just so you know, she's not a nickel, right? So she's not a worthless nickel, right? She's real. She's a real person. So fucked up world. Such a fucked up world. We got to qualify that. But she sees somebody in her window, a silhouette of somebody in her window. And she's in Dallas. She's a good Texas girl. What's she going to do? She got a gun. She got a piece. Of course she got a piece. Everyone in Texas has a gun. So she gets her piece. And she's got an 8-year-old nephew or nephew there. And she's going to protect him. So she grabs the gun. This officer, within a minute of arriving at the scene, opens fire into the house and kills this woman. Tragedy. What else can you call that? Tragedy. A tragedy is defined by a protagonist who has every opportunity to do right and to extract themselves from what is seemingly an inevitable doom. And they will not take any of them. And so the tragedy in this instance is that our justice system, the entity which is responsible for protecting us, the basic protection of our lives, has been so innervated by the enormous amount of guns on the streets that they are innervated. That means they are scared. Every police officer is trained to be terrified of being killed in the line of duty, just like a military grunt. You know what I mean? They're trained for war. And so when they go into the field, every time they go out is an opportunity for somebody to die. And that's the tragedy. The tragedy is the failure, is that we live in a bizarro dystopian universe right now where a concerned neighbor's call to the police has resulted in her murder. Right? I can only imagine what the neighbor who called the police feels like right now. I can't even imagine. And what kind of world is it where you got to give advice to people to be like, yo, don't call the police if you think somebody's in trouble? Who you supposed to call? I don't know. Nation Islam? You know what I mean? Call Big Head from the Rolling Crips up the street? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What is left when you can't call the police to come protect you? So that is the tragedy. The tragedy is that we could do better, but we don't. And we tell people, get a gun to protect yourself because you don't know if the police are going to get there in time to protect you. And then when you have the gun to protect yourself, that is the cause of your own death. Not the cause of it, but the trigger for your own death. The cause of it is bad training, is a misinformed police mission, is a malformed idea of what black people are in respect to criminal justice and what our place is in this system, you know? I don't have a ton to say about it. That's all I just want to say. It was just incredible. Just incredible. Yeah, and that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. Look, 20 minutes. Look, 20 minutes. Not a long time. And I expect we'll be back soon. But I just did want to check in with you guys, make sure you're okay. Make sure everything is all right. Everything's going good. Are the kids good? Yeah. How's your wife? How's your mother? How's your husband? Everybody all right? Good. Glad to hear it. Okay. Till next time, check me out on my other podcast with my friend Al, where we discuss things from a middle-aged male perspective. Very exciting, very riveting. We talk about music and culture and stuff like that. And it's, we've been friends for like 30 years, and we never expected that we would make it this far. And it's just a fun podcast where we talk about a lot of cool, fun things. It's not nearly as heavy all the time as what we talk about on this podcast, but I think you'll enjoy it. It's called We Come From Bad News. Go check it out. And until next time, stay woke, guys. All right? You're good.